Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. Let's get into it. So, well, looks like they turning on your man. You know, LeBron is they turning on Buddy right now, man. I told y'all this day was going to come. I told y'all. Now, they've also tried to make Luka the scapegoat, and it is pretty interesting. If you go and look at Luka's numbers, man, this guy's putting up incredible numbers, but yet somehow, some way, you know, he's the number one reason that they're losing. And I've gotten on Luka for some reasons, like playing defense and constantly whining and complaining. But somehow LeBron has managed to just kind of escape through. You know, the $52 million guy just found a way to elude criticism, right? It's like, we're not going to look in that direction. Well, now it looks like some people are beginning to do that. So recently there's an audio that went viral everywhere of Byron Scott, I believe on 106.5, a radio station out there in California, where they essentially asked him, hey, Byron, is it time for LeBron James to pack his bags and leave LA? And Byron Scott said, yeah, I think we've reached that time. So for those of you who didn't hear his comments or don't remember it, I want to quickly play what Brian had to say there, and then I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Byron Scott.
I just thought it was laughable, you know, coming from one of the greatest players that ever played a game, to say that it's harder to play now than it was then.
Are you ready to see him go from the Lakers?
Yeah. You know, I mean, like I said, I'm a fan, but you know, I don't mince words either. I mean, I think this should be his last year here.
Not in the NBA, just here.
No, just here.
Okay.
You know, I really.
You don't got to go home, but you got to go.
Yeah, you know, it's Moore's Day. You know what I'm saying?
That's
you don't have to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here.
Fantastic. So you heard what Byron had to say. So that goes viral. Everybody's reacted to it. We're reacting to it. Some channels chose not to react to it. You notice how nobody, then Uncle Shannon Sharpe reacted to it, and he totally lost his mind. Shannon Sharpe was getting flame broiled in the comments section of his own video yesterday, because people like, bro, you like what? Like, enough is enough with this nonsense, man, and this crying and whining, right? So Shannon was catching strays from his own audience. But then Colin Cowherd, who for a long time has been a LeBron James supporter. He has always been there, you know, parroting, you know, was trumpeting the idea of, LeBron is up there with Jordan. In some cases, he would even say that he had a better career than Michael Jordan, all this stuff. But now even Colin Cowherd is beginning to say that, you know what, I think it's time for LeBron James to move on. Like, this guy is also the problem. Like, it's time for him to leave. So what we want to do is we want to get into what Colin Cowherd had to say here, and we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Colin here.
Byron Scott, on a popular local LA radio show yesterday, said what a lot of former Lakers and maybe current new Laker executives think.
I just thought it was laughable, you know, coming from one of the greatest players that ever played a game, to say that it's harder to play now than it was then.
Are you ready to see him go from the Lakers?
Yeah. You know, I mean, like I said, I'm a fan, but you know, I don't mince words either. I mean, I think this should be his last year here.
So do I. LeBron is 41. He's averaging the fewest minutes of his career. He's shooting under 30% on threes, the fewest points per game since his rookie season, and he is the second slowest player in the entire league.
So you heard what Colin had to say, right? You heard what he had to say. What are my thoughts about this? Look, Colin Cowherd isn't breaking any news here, folks. He's not. Look, even for the people that are trying to run cover for LeBron and say, well, you know, man, it ain't right to talk about LeBron because he's 42 years old. Yeah. That's what makes it even more egregious that the Lakers find themselves paying someone that is 42 years old, $52.6 million. How do we justify this from a fiscal standpoint? How do we do it? How? It cannot be justified. It can be. So even if we look at it from that standpoint, from a financial standpoint and what it could do for the team in terms of flexibility, that's enough reason to be like, hey, maybe we need to get off this big contract. We'll have a little bit more flexibility, get some cheaper guys that can come in here and play defense and knock down some threes and hopefully get a playmaker in here. That could be another option. But the writing is on the wall, man. We said this from the start. The only people that are confused about this thing or find this to be disrespectful of LeBron fans himself, because they're still under this impression that LeBron came to save the Lakers, and had he not come, the Lakers wouldn't be anything in the future. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. All great franchises eventually bounce back. The Boston Celtics bounced back from Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen. They eventually got some young talent there. They eventually got Jaylen Brown. They eventually got Jason Tatum. So the great franchises will always find a way to bounce back. And LA is a top destination. We mustn't also forget the fact that LeBron being a part of the Lakers also caused a lot of star players to not want to play with him. Shannon and all of these guys totally left that part out, didn't they? They left out the fact that Paul George didn't want to go there. Kawhi Leonard didn't want to go there. Chris Paul. So many players. I think, was it James Harden or someone else? DeMar DeRozan. So many players turned down an opportunity to go play with the Lakers because of this guy. But now, all of a sudden, they're trying to say, well, oh, you know, if you got AD because we got AD. Y'all didn't even like, LeBron fans don't even like AD. They would always complain that AD is always breaking down and he can't give LeBron James a chance to help him win another title. Y'all acting like as if we haven't been listening to y'all for the past 3-4 years. When is AD going to take the key? Why is he always injured? Why is this, man? What does AD eat? What did he put banana peels in his socks? I don't understand this, man. Like, come on, man. Y'all acting like as if we don't know who we're dealing with here. Y'all never liked AD. You guys always thought that he was unreliable and he could never remain healthy. So when did you guys all of a sudden start developing all of this love and affection for Anthony Davis? Come on, like who are we kidding here? So Colin understands this. And I think everybody should at this point. It's over. That's why I was laughing at the idea of, oh, the Lakers could have. For what? For what? Let it be done with. My God, what are we still holding on for? Who wants to sign up for another year of this? We already know what's going to happen. We've had the last 3 playoffs to look at it. Lakers are 2-12 out of their last 3 playoffs. And then LeBron's going to be 1 year older and we're going to give it enough. Come on, man. Like, enough is enough. It's done. Let's move on. It's over. As y'all know, my guy Byron Scott got these LeBron James fans all up in their feelings. Just the other day, Shannon Sharpe burst into a ball of tears in front of Chad Johnson as he was crying his heart out. Why they don't love LeBron the way that we love him? Ocho or Acho, one of them. Come on, man. Why they don't love? Matter of fact, take a listen to Shannon Sharpe busting out a box of Kleenex crying for LeBron James. Take a listen to Son right here.
I mean, that's crazy. And obviously, maybe I doubt that Byron Scott would really feel that way, or maybe he actually does, because LeBron is not the same LeBron of old. But saying that he needs to leave LA and Luka just be the only person there that is somewhat consistently outside of Austin Reeves makes no damn sense. So why is LeBron being the one that's being called out from Byron Scott when all the other issues that even Ray Charles can see that they have going on with the Lakers right now?
I don't know. I think the thing is, I don't know when this started happening that guys from an organization, great guys from an organization, would all of a sudden call out guys that's currently within the organization. And maybe this is a Kobe thing. LeBron was never really accepted, even though he really revitalized the Lakers organization. I don't care what anybody says, and I think the fans understand. They know that. Right. They know what the Lakers were Kobe last 3 years, and when Kobe left, they know what the Lakers were. I don't know what is this? Right. What are we talking about? If LeBron doesn't come, the Lakers are not selling for $1 billion. Right. You're not going to be able to get Luka because you don't get AD. AD
Yes.
is not coming to LA.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I don't know what LeBron did to piss so many great players off.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't. No, he didn't. I get it, Ocho, and a lot of times we talk about this on the show all the time, Ocho.
Mm-hmm.
These guys currently in the NFL get privileges and things we didn't get, but
Right.
I don't begrudge them because we got things in the 90s and 2000s that guys in the 70s and 80s didn't get.
Didn't get,
and they
right.
got things in the 70s and 80s that guys in the 50s and 60s didn't get.
Right.
It's this thing called evolution. The game grows, the game evolves, and people get more things. It's
Right.
okay. But this notion that LeBron James is the only one that's ever had power within an organization.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all realize that a man won a championship and Magic had a falling out and he says it's either him or me? And Dr. Buzz fired the coach that won an NBA title.
Yeah.
That happened. Larry Bird did the same thing. It happens. But for some reason, anything that goes wrong, that is the reason why. That's
Right.
what free agency was meant to do. So you mean to tell me you want free agency and then want guys to stay? If that was the case, what was free agency for? What was free agency for, Ocho, if guys are not going to move around?
So you heard him. Now, why was he crying? The reason he was crying was because his man, or one of the people that he knows, and Byron Scott, basically said, hey, yo, dogs, it's time for your man to get the hell up out of LA. Like, we didn't seen enough, buddy. We didn't seen enough. So I want to give a big shout out to the basketball show. He been holding it down when it comes to finding these topics. I don't even know how the hell he does it, just to be quite honest with you. So he found this topic of your man Rich Paul and Max Kellerman, right? And they were apparently responding to the viral comments of Byron Scott that all of you have heard by now. And as I was watching it, before I even get into it, it's like these guys have turned into like rappers, man. Like anything, a rapper, any diss you make about them, they always ready to respond. Like that's what we are right now with sports media. So anyway, Max Kellerman he reads off Byron Scott's quotes, and then he asks Rich Paul to respond to him. As Rich is responding to him, I quickly began to realize, like, man, these guys have a god complex. Like, it's really, I thought it was just LeBron, but I think it's his entire crew. They really have a god complex. So what we want to do is want to play what Rich Paul had to say in response to Byron Scott, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Rich Paul here.
Today, we played 94 feet. They play 60 feet today because everything is predicated on shooting threes. You're not going up and down like we did. As far as physicality, it's not even close. I just thought it was laughable coming from one of the greatest to ever play the game. He's responding to LeBron James saying that the game has changed. Your thoughts, Rich Paul?
On the eras? I mean, I think everybody's going to be biased to the eras that they played in. I know what it looks like. I can't tell you what it was like because I never played, in an NBA game. But I think coming from someone who has actually played and has played in multiple eras, I don't know about the word laughable. You could. There's a way where you could disagree with somebody without it coming off as what I would say would be offensive.
Disrespectful?
Yeah, disrespectful. Yeah, exactly. Disrespectful. There's a way that you can say things without it coming off as disrespectful. And actually, that's going to lead me into my get rich quick. Respect, in my opinion, is one of those foundational pillars. And I think respect is something that you should lead with as a human. Every human should lead with respect. And especially when someone has earned that either through their productivity or their character. With that being said, and I think for me, I was always taught to respect my elders, to respect everyone, but definitely to respect my elders. But then, some days I sit there and I think and I see things and I'm like, but what about when your elders do things or say things that actually warrants disrespect? And it's been a lot of that going on, but then that's a very slippery slope, because when you get to the position that we are, Max, you're in, I'm in, we've got here, we work very hard to get there, and others have too. you got to be very careful because you get to a point to where you can say things or do things that knock you off your square, and also in that case, if you're knocked off your square, then that means you've been tricked out of your spot. And if you're tricked out of your spot, what happens is you can say or do something that looks or feels good in the moment, but looks foolish and probably is foolish and lives foolishly forever.
So you heard what he had to say. These people are something else. They are absolutely something else. And I got to give it to the basketball show, man. He brought up a lot of good points that I didn't even think about. This guy's talking about disrespect, but no one is more disrespectful than LeBron James. For goodness sake, the last time we saw LeBron on ESPN, he was talking about basically making fun of the 70s, saying Giannis Antetokounmpo, if he played back then, he could score 250 points in a game, alluding to the idea that he doesn't think Wilt's 100 points is a real game, like that ever happened. How he called himself the greatest player of all time. How is that not disrespectful to previous? You can't make, you know how it seems obvious to you and I? Like, come on, man, these guys are being, it's not obvious to them because these guys have a God complex. I'm telling you. Go look up the definition of a God complex. It means you feel like you're superior to others and others are subordinate to you. So listen to Rich Paul. That's why when Stephen A. Smith said, when you have LeBron ranked the number 2 greatest player of all time, Rich Paul told him that's disrespectful. These guys view themselves of like, they're not human beings. They believe like they're above human beings. They really, because you could I thought it was LeBron at first, but even listening to his agent, you can kind of, that's why they're all friends. As they say, birds of a feather flock together. It's kind of clear to see, why would Byron Scott bow down to you and LeBron James, bro? He played with Magic Johnson. What you think this is, man? Like, we talking to some dude off the street? Like, he played with the Showtime Lakers. Like, y'all acting like as if, like, what y'all on? What y'all on? He coached Kobe Bryant. Like, what you mean he got to bow down to you and got to show more respect? Like, what you mean? I don't understand these dudes, bro. Like, I don't understand these dudes. Whose mans is this right here, bro? Like, what are we on right now? Son, he played with Magic Johnson. There's no bigger star in LA than Magic. And then Coach Kobe Bryant. Saw him every day or whatever. He's been around superstars. He can talk to them. Why he can't talk to y'all? Why y'all feel like somebody got to come bow down to you before they give their opinion? For what? For what? Like, I don't understand it. Like, what are we doing? Like, what type of dudes is this? You could have been more respectful. No, he said it what he said. Respectful as in how? Were you guys respectful when y'all be saying the stuff that y'all say? When y'all say this stuff about Michael Jordan and all, do y'all show any respect? Nah, because y'all feel we're on Jordan's level. So therefore we can say, bro, I keep telling y'all. I keep trying to tell y'all. Some of y'all don't want to believe me. It's right in front of your eyes. Shannon Sharpe, man. I don't know who's a bigger supporter of their leader. Tony Yayo to 50 Cent or Shannon Sharpe to LeBron James. Like, I don't even get it at this point, man. Shannon Sharpe is like the Tony Yayo of sports media, man. I've never seen someone ride for a person like this. Dude was about to fight an entire basketball team over some damn LeBron James, bro. Shannon Sharpe was about to get jumped on the Lakers sideline for LeBron James. And LeBron, you think LeBron's going to run in there and try to break it up? Hell no. Shannon is so much of a LeBron stan that now he has pretty much degenerated into a laughing stock on his own channel. Even his own supporters now clown him for his obsessive love affair with LeBron James. So I didn't even notice. We did a show about it, but I didn't even read through the comments. So some of the viewers are like, yo, you got to go check out what Shannon Sharpe said. What people are saying about Shannon Sharpe in the comment section. What people are saying about Shannon Sharpe in the comment section. They eating him alive. They eating him alive. They eating him alive, right? You got to go check it out. They're destroying him. They're destroying him. So I'm like, all right, what are they saying? I go to the comment section, bro, it got ugly. But what we want to do is want to play what Shannon had to say first in response to Byron Scott, and then want to come back and then start laughing at his ass. Take a listen to this here.
I mean, that's crazy. And obviously, maybe I doubt that Byron Scott would really feel that way, or maybe he actually does, because LeBron is not the same LeBron of old. But saying that he needs to leave LA and Luka just be the only person there that is somewhat consistently outside of Austin Reeves makes no damn sense. So why is LeBron being the one that's being called out from Byron Scott when all the other issues that even Ray Charles can see that they have going on with the Lakers right now?
I don't know. I think the thing is, I don't know when this started happening that guys from an organization, great guys from an organization, would all of a sudden call out guys that's currently within the organization. And maybe this is a Kobe thing. LeBron was never really accepted, even though he really revitalized the Lakers organization. I don't care what anybody says, and I think the fans understand. They know that. Right. They know what the Lakers were Kobe the last 3 years, and when Kobe left, they know what the Lakers were. I don't know what is this.
Right.
What are we talking about? If LeBron doesn't come, the Lakers are not selling for $1 billion.
Right.
You're not going to be able to get Luka because you don't get AD. AD is not coming to LA.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I don't know what LeBron did to piss so many great players off.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't. No, he didn't. I get it, Ocho, and a lot of times we talk about this on the show all the time, Ocho. Mm-hmm. These guys currently in the NFL get privileges and things we didn't get, but I don't begrudge them because we got things in the 90s and 2000s that guys in the 70s and 80s didn't get. And they got things in the 70s and 80s that guys in the 50s and 60s didn't get. Right. It's this thing called evolution. The game grows, the game evolves, and people get more things. It's okay. But this notion that LeBron James is the only one that's ever had power within an organization. Mm-hmm. Do y'all realize that a man won a championship and Magic had a falling out and he says it's either him or me? And Dr. Buzz fired the coach that won an NBA title.
Yeah.
That happened. Larry Bird did the same thing. It happens. But for some reason, anything that goes wrong, that is the reason why. That's what free agency was meant to do. So you mean to tell me you want free agency and then want guys to stay? If that was the case, what was free agency for? What was free agency for, Ocho, if guys are not going to move around?
All right. So let's get through these comments, right? So we can have a laugh together. So this video was published yesterday, has 1,700 comments. One person, I'll just read through them. Unc don't play about Bron. Laughing my ass off. Clutch Sports about to give Unc a raise. Ha ha ha. Every time someone bashes LeBron, Shannon always brings up Kobe. Shaking my head. So, how did Bean enter this conversation again? Shannon loved that man. Ninjas be loving LeBron more than they love their own friends and family. Is Shannon Bron daddy because he forever defending him? It continues on. He asked the man a question about LeBron, and he honestly answered it. Get over it. Unc, aka LeBron Police. This is on his channel. Keeps on. Shannon must be on Clutch Sports payroll. He always defending LeBron every week. Unc rides so much for Bron is sickening. Just keeps going. To bring up Kobe is wrong, bro. And it just keeps going on. And it says, glazing way too hard, my guy. This is what Shannon Sharpe has turned into. And this is why I never took any of Shannon Sharpe's basketball takes seriously when it came to the GOAT debate. I never took any of them seriously. This is his own audience members saying this. This is in a Dreamers Pro comment section. Those are his viewers saying. Essentially, what they're saying is, Shannon, you're not being rational. You're not being rational. Number one. Number two, you cannot honestly be serious to think that all the Laker fans want LeBron in LA. It is insane to me to think that you as a LeBron fan feel that everyone else should feel the same way about him when you're a fan of his. Let's be for real. The way you feel about LeBron, is that the way you feel about Michael Jordan or Kobe? No. So why do you expect other people to feel that way? Number three, Shannon, we have heard you on more than one occasion on ESPN on your show constantly take shots at Michael Jordan. Why all of a sudden you want to cry now? Why all of a sudden you want to start crying now when you're guilty of this? But more importantly, the Laker fans, Byron Scott has a right to say, and it's not about hating on the old generation. Byron Scott didn't say this about other players. They've seen enough. What a novel idea. Maybe they've seen and had enough. Maybe they're tired. Maybe they've had enough. How about that? Maybe you love it because you're not a Laker fan. You're a LeBron fan. You can sleep well at night knowing LeBron scores 20 a game, puts up some dunks, and the team loses. You sleep fine at night. Laker fans don't care. I don't know why it's so difficult for these guys to wrap their head around this concept. Laker fans don't care the way you care. They don't. Look, man, this hate that Michael Jordan gets is really, it's unexplainable. You know, about a week or two ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, that video came out of Michael Jordan pulling that little kid's shirt, and LeBron fans tried to turn it into something. Oh my God, they tried. They tried to put him on that same Diddy, no party like a Diddy party. It couldn't work. They tried though. They thought, oh, we got him now. They ain't had nothing. They didn't have nothing. Just when you thought MJ couldn't do it again, he did it again. I wanna be like Mike. Like the dude did it again, man. He did it again. This man just ran off another three-peat in a totally different sport as an owner. So this news is going around. I even posted about it on my the community board. And I said, MJ three-peats again. This man is unreal to go. And people were just showing him love, man. Just showing him love in the comments, man. People were showing him love. Of course, you had a few LeBron haters in the comments, you know, doing what they do, right? So I tuned into a clip. I was actually watching something else. And a video was recommended to me from ESPN, right? About this Michael Jordan story of his team just winning again. And it says, and I looked at the title, the title of the video says, Brian Windhorst says, what about Michael Jordan is no longer owning? What about Michael Jordan no longer owning the Hornets? And I'm like, what? So I click on the video to hear what was being said. And in the video, you have Mike Greenberg introducing the story, saying Jordan won. You even play a little bit of sound of Jordan. And then Brian Windhorst rolls into the studio. And he goes, you know, this is great, and this is great, this is great. And then it shows, and then he goes into something of, oh, you know, ever since Michael Jordan left, all of a sudden, the Charlotte Hornets are winning again. I'm like, bro, they're talking about this guy having a three-peat in another sport, and you find a way to take an around-the-corner shot at this. I'm like, yo, does ESPN, do these people ever stop with this nonsense? Like, what is it with this MJ slander, that network? What is it? Matter of fact, I'm about to go off, but take a listen to him here quickly, and then we'll come back.
Jordan has had another three-peat. Tyler Reddick became the first NASCAR Cup Series driver to win the first three races of the season. He won the season-opening Daytona 500. He won a week later at Atlanta. And then he won yesterday at the Circuit of the Americas, driving a Toyota co-owned by Denny Hamlin and Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Here was the GOAT on the win.
What can you say about the domination by your team today?
It's time for change. Time for change, and the guys feel the same thing. And you know, Tyler came in with most pressure. I guess everybody expected him, or he had a chance to win three in a row. That's the hardest one to win. Look, I just put up the money. I'm just a competitor. But I think Diddy's done an unbelievable job in terms of helping build this team, and I think the team has done a good job in just taking our leadership and going out and winning. That's what it's about, winning.
So we going to see you in Phoenix?
I'll be in Phoenix. I'll be in Phoenix.
Let the record show Jordan completed one of his three-peats in Phoenix. Here was the moment. Tyler Reddick posted it yesterday. He's got the three-peat. Jordan had the three-peat. It's another one for Michael. All he does is win everywhere he goes.
Threes, apparently.
Parenthetically, when they were all in that scrum and they were all hugging and high-fiving, the amount taller he is than everyone else I found extremely amusing. I can't be the only one who noticed that. But Windman, what are your thoughts on Michael Jordan and a three-peat in NASCAR?
This is working out for everybody. It's working out for Jordan, and it's working out for the Charlotte Hornets, because let me just point out that since Jordan sold controlling share of the Hornets, they've been on a gigantic upswing. They had another big win over the weekend, and their starting lineup, which is now back intact after the suspensions from the fight with the Pistons lifted, their starting lineup, Greeny, is now 18-2, and that group, led by Con Knuppel, Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball, is the number one lineup in the league in terms of their point differential. Pay attention to Michael Jordan's recently sold and now being rerun and being run beautifully Charlotte Hornets.
What is it you said to me? You said this in the notes last night. The comparison you made to a team you mentioned last year.
Yeah, so about a year ago now is when I told you that the Indiana Pacers were a contender hiding in plain sight. I can't call the Hornets a contender yet, but this is a powerhouse hiding in plain sight. They have been one of the best teams in the NBA for 2+ months. They play at both ends of the court, and their young guy, Con Knuppel, is now taking over, in a lot of people's eyes, the lead for Rookie of the Year. This is a team that we're going to start talking a lot about, and Jordan still owns like 30%. He's still doing fine there, too.
Great, you heard what he had to say. Let me continue on my point. Do you know what kills me? A moment like this where Jordan did something fantastic. He won again. He keeps winning. And you find a way to try to throw some shade at him. But you're the same Brian Windhorst that went on ESPN to sound off on some stats. Well, you know, Luka and Reeves, they have a winning team. Then this and this, they're not a winning team. And then you went out there and told a bold-faced lie talking about, well, when is LeBron by himself, they're a really good team. No, they're not, Brian Windhorst. When is LeBron by himself, they're not a what data do you have to support this? What data? How many games has he played this season for you to say that the Lakers are a very good team when he plays? Why is it that you always have to distort reality for your guy who, by the way, insulted you and made you look like a buffoon on live TV? You didn't even have enough self-respect to just say, you know what, I'm going to cover this guy and I'm going to do a little bit less twerking. You went right back to twerking. And then in the midst of this, Jordan wins another championship, 3 in a row, in a new sport in NASCAR, and you find a way to talk about, well, you know, him not being what does him winning have to do with the Charlotte Hornets? But then say, oh, well, you know, he still owns 30% of the team. So then what's the point of your comment? Why would you mention that in a moment like this? This is what I'm trying to figure out. Why would you? The story started off with celebrating MJ, and then here you come. Coming to do work that nobody sent you to do. Why is it always like this at that network, man? Why? Y'all literally think of creative ways to go after MJ. I don't get it. You're looking at one of the greatest sports icons in the history of sports, in the history of it. And that's who you want to reduce all the way down to some cheap shots on ESPN. Because you're a LeBron guy and you got to keep doing what you got to do. And then go up there and talk about, oh, well, you know what, LeBron, just the Lakers, man. They're a really good team. No, they're not, Wendy. No, they're not. Where did you get that information from? And by the way, the information that you were sharing on ESPN, I have been saying this since December, November. You didn't need a crystal ball to figure this one out. You could look at the sample size from the year prior and understand Luka, Reeves, and LeBron isn't a good trio. I've been saying this for months now, but because you have a suit on and you say it on ESPN, all of a sudden there's some breaking news. What was the purpose? Why are you doing that, bro? Why are you doing that? You're supposed to be better than that, man. What was the purpose of saying that? But that's these people for you, man.